Hello, my fellow gamers. Welcome back to Comfortable Gaming, talking best FPS games on Game Pass. So, if you're looking for a really good single player FPS game or a really good online shooter, there's plenty to choose from. And starting off with High on Life on the list, this is a really awesome game that launched in December, day one onto Game Pass. From the creators of Rick and Morty. So, if you do play this game, you'll recognize the voices and also the craziness and quirkiness. If you had to think like, what if you had to go to those crazy planets that Rick and Morty visit? This is kind of what it is, with its over-the-top, insane guns that talk back to you, crazy weird enemies, really fun story, really fun game in every sense of the way. I really enjoyed this. One of the best additions over Christmas to play on Game Pass. There's just so much to love here. The story is what really sells it. The whole idea and concept of this game to its being like Rick and Morty, completely insane. And you're gonna love this. Do check it out. Next up, we got Battlefield 2042, and I know a lot of you are gonna go like, whoa, this is not the best games. And this game has come a long way, and hear me out. Now that it's on Game Pass, we've gotten a lot more players on it. The game is running a lot better. It's still plagued by its launch issues, which it's had, but it's come some way, and it still feels like a really solid Battlefield game to play. And since this also came to Game Pass, do check it out. If you miss Battlefield, there's tons of stuff to love here, and if you can find matches and play with people, which there's people playing, this game can offer a lot of hours of fun and things like that. I just wish this launched better because there's so much potential with this game. Could have been one of the great Battlefield games, but unfortunately EA, as we know, has always different plans. But a good one to check out on Game Pass. Next up, we got Deathloop. And what can I say about Deathloop? It's just one of the best games I played last year. I was waiting for this to come to Game Pass for a while. It was a PS5 exclusive for a while. And I loved this game so much. It's awesome story, awesome ideas. You're stuck, you play Cole, this assassin who constantly dies and repeats its loops and things like that. You're stuck on this island trying to break this loop. So like Groundhog Day in a way, with Dishonored mechanics and things like that. So it's a lot similar to Dishonored, except I feel like there's a lot more shooting. You can go all out, you can go very sneaky. So many ways to approach the match, and as you try to figure out how to break the loop. The game is very clever, doesn't really guide you too well. You kind of have to figure out and read the notes in the game, which I really love. So it offers a lot of great things in this game. Check it out, one of the best on Game Pass. Next up, we got Far Cry 5. And this one takes you mountains in America, usually from your previous Far Cry's 3, 4 and things like that, or islands and some desert places. And you fight this crazy fanatic cult that's taken over this county, created its kind of its own country. It is over the top, it is Far Cry again, it's very similar to the previous games if you haven't played 5. I think the worst entry in my opinion out of all the Far Cry's I've played so far. It still boasts a lot of fun, a lot of craziness, a lot of Far Cry things. So there's nothing new too much here except a new story. So there is a lot to love here and a lot of fun to be had. The open world is immense and massive. There's a lot to explore and a lot to do. So if you're looking for a really big open world game to go around shooting crazy fanatic people, then I think Far Cry 5 will definitely be for you. Next up, we got Halo Master Chief Collection. Now this boasts 4 games in one of Halo games. There's so many to choose from Halo, and Halo being such a defining game back in the day, with combat involved when it came out. Halo 2 being one of the best games. Halo 3, Halo 4. There's a lot to love here. So you can jump back through and play all of these games all over again if you're really looking forward to it. If you never touch Halo, it has gotten a bit old, maybe the first 2 games, but there's so much to love with Halo, and I do suggest people, if you never played Halo, go play the story, go see what Halo was all about and why was it so popular and so great back in the day. Really good one to check out. Really boasts so many games in one bundle to play, and it's what Xbox was all about, it's what Halo is, so do check it out. Next up, we got the Doom Collection to Doom 1, 2, 3, Doom 2060 and Doom Eternal. All of these games are on Game Pass. If you never touched the Doom game or you kind of want to remix it and play the old classics of Doom games, they are all here on Game Pass to check out. And what a great FPS, one of my favorite FPS games of all time. I love Doom. And the latest Dooms, Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, what can I say, one of the best FPS games of all time, and I can't get enough of Doom, and I'm excited for a new Doom eventually at some point again, because these games have always been one of my favorites of all time. There's just absolute carnage and craziness. And if you don't want to play the classics, I suggest jumping into 2016 or jumping straight into Doom Eternal, to one of the most satisfying gameplays in games that you can choose. So many ways to approach, defeat enemies. It's just levels of hordes of demons to destroy, and absolute carnage done so well, to each gun being so specific in the way you use it, to just each level as you progress and upgrade your weapons, to different bosses you fight in the game. Just, this is one of the best single player FPS games of all time, Doom Eternal. And if you still haven't played it and you got Game Pass, download it right now. Next up, we got Kill It With Fire, which is a very small indie game that not a lot of people know about, and I thought, well, I was not going to put this on the list, but as I started playing it, you realize how much fun this game can really be. It's simple. The whole point of the game is to go and kill spiders and bugs and things. So that's the whole concept of the game. And you think, oh, but this is just a stupid thing. But if you want to kill time, switch your mind off and just have a bit of fun, the objectives and the way you do things just makes the game so fun, and constantly you want to go and search and kill spiders. So if you do have a spider phobia and you hate the buggers, maybe this is a great way, and you don't like insects, to kind of take your frustrations out in a way. That's kind of what this game really offers. It's a lot of fun. Check it out. Next up, we got Halo Infinite, and this is the latest Halo, and obviously not the best Halo there is, but the campaign was really fun. I enjoyed it, and the multiplayer has come a long way now with its new updates and everything. I think it could have been handled a lot better, but this is not that video of Halo discussion. There's still a bunch of people playing online. The single player campaign, like I said, is good, so do check it out. It is Halo again, and it is still fun to play online. I still come back to this game now and then and just play with my friends, play with people, and just have fun online, because I do like Halo, and it boasts a lot of fun. It's different a lot to what Call of Duty and all sorts of those things are, so it has its own special charm and uniqueness to what Halo is, and that's what makes it so fun. And Infinity definitely captures a lot of the magic of what Halo is, and jumping in with people and friends and all. Next up, we got Crysis, and this was such a big game back in the day, and it still holds up to this day, to its mechanics, obviously to its graphics. I mean, this is a very old game, I think 2008, and look at the graphics for such a god. This is obviously the remastered version, but it was a big game back in the day, and I think Crysis still did something that a lot of FPS games still don't do to this day, to its mechanics, environment, the shooting, all the things you can do. If you never really played Crysis back in the day, I think this is the best time to check it out. If you're looking for a new game to play, there's Crysis 1, 2, and 3. Although the first one being the best, there's so many great elements to this game, to its combat, the way the game looks, to its story. Everything was extremely done well, and like I said, being a big game back in the day, do check it out. Next up, we got a really old classic, which is Quake. And I remember playing this a long time ago, landing it with friends and stuff like that back in the day. It is what Doom is in its sense. That's what Quake is, just a little bit more creepier, more than monsters and demons sort of thing. There's co-op, there's PvP, there's story mode. Quake is a great classic, and I think with all its new expansions, everything put into a game, I just wish we get a new Quake game, not these remasters of classics with modern day graphics and everything. What they've done with Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal, to do something like that with Quake would really be cool. And like I said, local split screen and multiplayer and co-op, lots of fun still to be had. And it is cross-play, so it doesn't matter if you're on PC Game Pass or console Game Pass, you can play it together with your friends, doesn't matter what platform you're on. Next up, we got Battlefield 1, and probably my favorite Battlefield game in its entire franchise. And I don't think there's been a game that has done justice to World War I like this game has done. To every single gun being so detailedly done, to the maps, and obviously being Battlefield, to crazy ass environments exploding and all sorts of things that comes with Battlefield. This game was one of the few games that launched, I can say nearly perfect at launch, with its minor little bugs. I played this game religiously, and what's really nice, to this day you can find people playing online, you can find matches. Huge following for this game, and just everything Battlefield 1 has done is done right, and it's one of the best Battlefield games. It's got a really good campaign as well to play through, really awesome multiplayer. If you never touch Battlefield 1, do play it. And next up we got probably the Battlefield 4, the fan favorite of the sort, and like I said, if I played Battlefield 1 a lot, I've played this game insane, and there's still dedicated servers to this game because that's how popular Battlefield 1 is. I was gonna put Battlefield 3 as well on this list, but Battlefield 4 just took everything Battlefield 3 did so well and just build upon it, and to the crazy structures falling down. I remember the first time the whole building coming down on the map was absolute insanity, and through each mission and maps it was really done well. Campaign 1 was also a lot of fun, but the multiplayer really stood out. It's the best sandbox Battlefield game you can play to this day. And like I said, dedicated servers to this game within good reason, because it's such a great game. It's such a great Battlefield game. Go and play it right now. Next up we got Deep Rock Galactic. And this is a co-op design type of game to play together with friends as you explore and go deep and diving in. It's all about mining and collecting resources, and obviously you do fight all sorts of weird little creatures. So the whole point is diving, darkness sort of thing, and dwarfs. As you play these dwarfs, they go mining and exploring for resources and all sorts of craziness. And you do all of this co-op. So if you're looking for something to do with your friends that you never even heard of, and you like grinding and mining, then do all of this together, and as you fight all these weird creepy crawlies you find in caves and stuff like that together while exploring, it's a lot of fun. It's a game that's really fun with friends, and it's meant to be played together. I do suggest playing it with someone than playing it alone. A lot of fun. Do check out Deep Rock Galactic. Prey, what can I say about Prey? When is the sequel ever gonna arrive to such a great game? Mixed elements of Dishonored and sort of thing, of a little bit of stealth, a little bit of horror into it, exploration. There's like a lot of great elements into one game that's blended itself so well to what Prey actually really is. There's a bit of Dead Space into it, if you play Dead Space as well. So really great first person shooter, slow pace, really good story, exploration, really good combat system as well that I really enjoyed in this game. It's just a really great single player game to check out and play. If you never played Prey, it is a great game to check out, and what else can I be said? I always suggest people playing Prey, and I'm hoping for a sequel at some point in the future. Next up we got Wolfenstein New Order, or Wolfenstein New Colossus, the sequel to this game. One of my favorite games I've played in a long time, and one of the best story single player games. It's so over the top. What happens if Nazis won the war? It's just everything about this game, to its characters design, to its building up the characters in the story, to the absolutely fun gameplay, raw gameplay of just crazy shooting, crazy things, to different, each level in the game I think was done so well. The story kept you so enticed in each level, paces itself really well. It's a game I played back in the day when it came out, and still to this day it's one of my favorite story games I've played as a shooter. Generally shooters you're looking to play online. Doom Eternal is just crazy over the top thing, and this has that but with just a really good story. And the second one really follows well, called the New Colossus, but I put New Order first because you should play this one first to kind of know what's going on in the second one. The Nazis are so evil, the villains are done so well in these games that just wants to make you shoot them and get to them. Like, it's really done well, and like I love everything about this game. The design, to the craziness, to the crazy mechs all of a sudden, to the weapons in the game, the really fun gameplay, and just everything about this game I think is done so well. Next up we got Titanfall 2, and at the time when Call of Duty and Battlefield were killing it together and all the best games you can play on market, a little game came out called Titanfall, and then with its sequel, what essentially is, you can run on walls, do all sort of thing like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, but you can jump into mechs and fight other people in different mechs, which makes it this whole thing how great this game is. Our whole point is to get a bigger mech and destroy the other guy quickly as possible as you can. So it's done really well in that sense, and it's one of the best games that online shooters that I've played in a while that still hasn't gotten a sequel, which is crazy, baffling to me, because this was religiously played when it came out, and I think people are still playing Titanfall 2, and just shows how great this game is. And I never thought I liked mech battles and stuff until I played this game. So if you never played Titanfall, it's also got a really good story and all of that, and that's why this is also definitely on this list. Do check Titanfall 2 out, don't miss it, it's a really great one. Next up, we got Star Wars Battlefront 2. And this game has come such a long way in its sense. There isn't any more new updates for it except a little bit fixes and stuff. But obviously EA had to plague this game at launch with a lot of nonsense and pay to win cards and things like that. But ever since that's been removed and a lot of great characters have been added, maps and things, so many new things, there's just so much to do and so much fun to be had. This game is still played to this day, and if you love Battlefield but you love Star Wars, that's what this game is all about. It's crazy open scale warfare in a Star Wars setting. It's self-explanatory if you never heard of what Battlefront is. So many different classes to choose from, each map is so different to the villains and the heroes you pick in the map. It's a lot of fun. If you love Star Wars and going fighting on all of these maps, it boasts so much lore and everything to be played within the game that you would just love. I just love every minute of Star Wars Battlefront, and I'm glad this game has come its long way, because it's a beautifully looking game, a beautifully designed game. Do check Battlefront out. Next up, we got Rainbow Six Siege, and this game is played competitively still to this day out of this world, and that's what Siege has offered over the years. It's such a great tactical shooter that Rainbow Six has always been. Tom Clancy's been renowned for his tactics and a little bit slow pace, not over the top, fast paced shooting. So everything is about, I suggest if you're going to play this game, play it with a team, because going solo and stuff is extremely hard, because every little detail matters. You can get killed so easily in this game. Every little detail, figuring out what the other enemy is, sieging or defending a point, it's done extremely well. And to this game, that's why I said people are playing this. Competitions are still run by this game because it's so popular and it's so good. Next up, we got Rainbow Six Extraction. So it takes everything what Rainbow Six did, except it's more of a PvE setting instead of a PvP setting. So you champion in with friends, fighting these plagued zones and things that you figure out what this virus type of is in a team. You have different gadgets and abilities, very similar to what the gadgets were in Siege, except you're fighting hordes of monsters and things in each level and missions, and you've got plenty of different enemy types to choose from and fight differently, that you can use different tactics to survive. So again, it's extremely easily to die in this game as Siege is, except it's a lot more tactical as a team to destroy these monsters and things like that. It's a very clever designed game, and I think it just follows with Siege, that just a little bit different. If people don't want to play so much PvP, they want to play PvE, then this really offers something great in that sense. Really fun one to check out. And last one, we got Insurgent Sandstorm. This launched in December onto Game Pass, and this has been generally quite a PC exclusive for a very while. I've been looking at it for a console version, so it's finally come to console. And it is what it is. It's Sandstorm, it's in the desert. It's a very tactical as well shooter. It's really done well. The maps are a lot of fun. The guns are a lot of fun. It's throwback to those times of just military time in Iraq, Afghanistan, that sort of thing. And just everything to the gameplay, to everything is really done. The game is a little bit of a low budget game, but where it lacks in budget, it works out in gameplay. Like, it's really done. The gameplay is really done. The guns are done really well. It's really detailed in where it needs to be. The game was really well worked on. I've been really enjoying this. This is mostly what I'm playing online at the moment, and I'm so glad this came to consoles, because this is a great shooter and a great game on Game Pass to check out. And I left it last on the list. I feel like lost on the best. So I think this is the latest, really done well. It throws back a little bit to Modern Warfare 2 in a sense, but again, it is not Call of Duty. It's a little bit more tactical than Call of Duty. And that's it from me, guys. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.